Here's Sandy chapter 4 entitled Gift. The snow started falling in heavy flakes, and he squinted his eyes slightly so that he could see where he was going. He laughed out loud as snow fell into his mouth and melted like honey. Sand, oh no, he stepped into a shop doorway so he could wipe the snow from his eyes. It was then that he was surprised to see a strange bundle on the floor, peppered with snow. To his surprise, when he reached down to touch it, it moved and barked, and then barked loudly and shook the snow from itself. It was a cold but excited golden Labrador. Simon bent down to stroke her, feeling sorry for her in the terrible weather. She didn't move, she just licked her lips. There, he said, what a lovely dog you are, and he continued to stroke her as she looked at the apple in his hand. And then she took a small bite and then leapt out and ate it out of his hand. She must be very hungry, he thought sadly. He didn't know what to do because he knew he couldn't be late for school. To his dismay, he knew he'd have to leave her there and he just hoped she'd be there when he got back. He rushed to school with an aching in his heart and a hope that he'd see her again. The lessons passed so slowly, and it was hard for him to concentrate, and he felt guilty leaving her outside in the cold. Eventually the bell sounded, and he rushed out into the snowy streets. Simon was too excited to wait for the buses, and when he got to the shop entrance, the snow was piled up high, but she was still there looking wet but happy. He'd saved a biscuit from his lunch box and he offered it to her. She jumped up in an instant and ate it out of his hand. The snow fell off her as she shook herself and as he stroked her head. She looked up at him as if in gratitude. It looked like she was smiling at him and her tongue was dripping spittle in the snow. It was difficult for him not to laugh.